Welcome back. We continue to part 2 of the joy of sushi. Our veggies are prepped and our rice is simmering. Next we'll be frying the eggs. Now bear in mind, for traditional Japanese sushi, some prefer salmon or tuna. Sashimi quality is the best.
Always to ensure freshness.
Right. So, but tonight we will be preparing mostly some American-style sushi. The East meets West. For those who don't quite fancy raw fish,
we will be cooking our fish.
So we're going to be sure that we bring our water to a boil, our medium grain rice.
Bring it to a full boil. As soon as it gets to a boil, cover it, take the heat down to simmer, and let it simmer for 20 minutes until it absorbs all the water. Ours is already done. We're going to go ahead and pull it out of the pan when it's done and turn it into a large non-metallic bowl. You don't want to use metal bowls with rice. Not only do they stick, they pick up chemicals from the bowl. Stainless steel mixing bowls are not the best. I have a bunch of large plastic ones myself. While that cools a bit, we're going to go ahead and start making this sticky part of the sticky rice. I take 1 cup of rice wine vinegar. You can get this at any Oriental food aisle. We always get ours from Kroger or Marsh's. They usually have it on stock. Half a cup of sugar, plus 1 tablespoon. And 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of salt. It's all about presentation of the Japanese. They like to mix their colors up into an attractive rainbow. They alternate colors of bright meats, browns, reds, oranges, whites. And then they add vegetables, whitish greens, green and yellows, the bright orange of the carrots, and the yellow of the eggs, all to make a bright, attractive presentation with the rice and the dark seaweed around.
Oh, and also to keep that avocado from discoloring, sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice. Just a pinch. Keep it nice and fresh.
The eggs we cook into a thin batter, kind of like scrambled eggs, and you cook them in a thin layer, almost like an egg crepe, in as thin of a layer as you can. And then you take those and slice those long ways, and they go in the strips with the cucumbers and everything else in the center of the roll.
Alright, we're frying those eggs.
The key is to start with a very light layer and roll it all the way around the pan. Go ahead and slice the egg. I made 3 flat sheets. They are very thin. Generally lay them out, roll them over kind of like a burrito, and you slice them long ways into strips.
Like everything else we're
Yes,
cutting.
they have to be in long, thin strips so they roll better. Otherwise you'll end up with big clumps. Time to cook the meat, just for those of you who are a little squeamish and worried that we might not be actually cooking the meat. We're going to cook these one at a time and then transfer them into clean dishes so that we don't transfer any germs, bacteria, or uncooked juices from anything. Start with a hot oven, or a hot pan. I use soy sauce. Let a little bit of the soy sauce condense. It helps bring out the flavor. You pour in whatever it is you're going to cook at the time. We're starting with octopus. to the Japanese, this would already be done. But we are going to consider it still raw because, well, it is.
The octopus is done.
We're going to throw on the squid next. This is another one that most people might be a little squeamish of, but in all reality, squid is probably the easiest to eat of this type of meat. You can buy it in calamari rings, which look like this. These are from the actual valve of the calamari. Or you can buy it in strips of the meat, like this. I buy mixed pieces, so it's a little bit of everything. And a grab bag. Though the strips actually probably do work better for the sushi. The rings I generally slice open and lay out. You have to be careful when cooking squid though, because if you overcook it, you'll never be able to eat it. So this is one that actually
It'll turn into rubber.
Yes, it's one that actually has to be cooked very gently until it's just right.
You're pressing it with your fork.
Yes. Test it with your fork. If the impression still stays in the fork, it's still done. Or still
In the
still a little undone.
Yeah.
When it actually bounces back all the way, it's perfect. This is crab meat. We use the real crab, not the imitation stuff. I prefer the real crab myself. I'm going to go ahead and break it open a bit. Tell when these are done by how clear they are. They start out white. By the time they get done, they're almost clear. You can see the fork through them. They're almost transparent in the pan.